So let's start with a bit of a view of the future. So the next 3 to 5 years, Brittain, what do you think are going to be the big stories of the next 5 years of retail and manufacturing?
Well, I really believe we are about to witness the most disruptive period in retail and manufacturing that I think we will witness more disruption in the next 3 to 5 years than what we've witnessed in the prior 100 years. And the reason why I say that is because of China and what China's really done. And what's interesting is a lot of people still haven't really figured out what's China doing. Before, China was always known as the world's manufacturer. But now what China is really doing is China's become the world's largest exporter, but not exporter of just the products they manufacture, but actually of their business models. And so when we look at a company like Shein, the fast fashion retailer, we look at TikTok shops, ByteDance, we take a look at Temu. I really believe what Shein is going to do and is doing with what I consider to be the most revolutionary manufacturing model, where they produce very small batches of product. They see what's selling, and then they only focus those manufacturing plants on producing those products for a limited batch run, and then end it and then start again. And I've spent probably the last 4 years researching Shen, researching Timu, some of these other companies. And that entire model that China uses for manufacturing, where they have outsourced the manufacturing to thousands of small, medium, and large manufacturers. But Shein basically is using their own platform to communicate with these retailers, with these manufacturers, and then be able to communicate with the retailers and very quickly pull the product that's been manufactured and get it to the retailers who can get it on the shelf or simply sell those products online. What I anticipate that Shein is going to do is they're going to move into many, many different categories. They're going to move into shoes. They're going to move into home goods. They're going to move into furniture to much more of an extent. And I just think that that model is just going to decimate many manufacturers out there who think to themselves, well, we do tractor supplies, or we do automotive, or we do pharmaceuticals or whatever. There's no way that they can do what we do. I can state that I had a conversation with senior executives at Amazon 3 years ago about Shein, and not one of them believed that they would ever even be a threat in the United States or even enter the United States full scale. They didn't think Timu would do it. They didn't think ByteDance would do it. Every executive at Amazon was incorrect in what they were saying. And this was even the people in charge of Amazon supply chain, their manufacturing relationships with suppliers, and so forth. And so what I really encourage everyone on the call to do is, whether you're agreeing with me as you're listening to me or not, I want you to do this one thing. And if you read my post on LinkedIn, I always use this phrase: crush all assumptions. And whatever you do, don't make the assumption that, well, we do something different than Shein. There's no way what they do is going to ever have an impact on my business. I think that's false. I think this is really going to become much larger of a way to manufacture and have relationships with retailers than most people realize. I believe the only way to really be competitive against the Shein model in the future is manufacturer direct, a manufacturer direct model. I've always been a big fan of manufacturer direct. I think it makes the most sense, frankly. So I think the manufacturers out there need to be able to step back a moment and say, well, how would we do manufacturer direct to the consumer? How would we maybe change the model to allow us to do that? How would we get the raw ingredients we need for our materials or whatever? What would we have to change? What technology would we have to use, and so forth? So at a high level, that's really what I believe we're going to see happen. There are a few other things, but I think the most important thing is the awareness of how I believe the China model is going to have an impact across manufacturers globally.